Who are you? You're very tall. I spy a giraffe, I think. Second floor, third door on the right. This must be the room where the photograph was taken. Psst. Hey, Falcon. Did you see that? See what? That housemaid just totally did something shifty. Shifty? I think she just pocketed something from that drawer. You should totally call her out on it. Excuse me, mademoiselle. Ah. Yes. Are you two policemen? No. We're private attorneys. My name's Jayjay Falcon. And I'm Sparrowson. Oh, how rude of me. My name is Colleen Duhot. Duhot? So, what can I help you, messieurs, with today? We're investigating the murder that took place last week. Do you mind if we ask you a couple of questions? That's fine. Let me just grab a chair. That's better. What was it you wanted to ask? Is this where the photograph was taken? We're looking for the room where the photograph was taken prior to the incident. Would you happen to know whether this is the right room? Oh yes, you're in the right place. I saw the photograph session for myself. Blink, 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 blink. Let's see. The cameraman was standing... just about where you're standing, actually, Monsieur Falcon. And where was the camera pointed? Right at the clock above the mantelpiece. The Baron insisted on using that very location. Now that I'm looking at it, something isn't right about that clock. I know. The painting on it totally clashes with the decor. I was thinking along more obvious lines. The clock has no hands. Oh, that clock never had hands in all the years I've worked here. I think Baron Roguil just keeps it around as a conversation piece. Well, we're conversing about it, so I guess it's working. It's a peculiar detail, though. I'll make a note of it. Missing clock hands have been added to your evidence folder. Oh, we could take the missing clock hands from the evidence folder and put them on the clock. Is there something else you wanted to ask? You were a little nervous when we came in. You thought we were police officers. Is there something we ought to know? Anything you need to confess? No. I suppose I'm just a little nervous after all the drama of last week. Are you sure there isn't anything you're hiding? It's okay to tell us. We're defense attorneys. That means we help people get away with criminal acts. Right, and... Wait, what? No, that's not an accurate job description, Sparrowson. It isn't? Oh, what do we do then? I'll tell you later. Honestly, messieurs, I have nothing to hide. Was there something else you wanted to ask? No further questions. Thank you, mademoiselle. You've been a huge help. The clock in Baron Roguil's lounge has no hands. It's no problem, messieurs. Actually, there is something. I know you two saw me stealing as you came in, and I appreciate that you didn't give me the third degree about it. You see, I'm trying to save up to follow my dreams, and well, never mind, I'm rambling. It's no problem, mademoiselle. To be honest, we have much larger crime to worry about. Although I should probably ask, I don't suppose you've been stealing anything else. Silverware, perhaps. You know about that? Yeah, I suppose it was me. I started with a couple of teaspoons. I didn't think the Baron would miss those. But well, yeah, I suppose the habit got a little away from me. That's one mystery solved, at least. Missing silverware has been added to your evidence folder. Hey, we can put that into... Colleen, the housemaid Chateau Grenier, has confessed to stealing silverware from the household. Good. You can give it back. I would appreciate it if you didn't tell the Baron. He's been really kind, and I would hate to break his trust. So you steal from him? I see. So, where to next, Big Bird? Well, unless we can go to anywhere else, which it doesn't look like we can. We'll go to the main hall. Did you messieurs have a good look around? I trust everything was in order. We had a good look, thank you, Baron. We actually have some questions for you. Please, ask away. I have nothing to hide. Let's start with this one. Baron Rogwheel, I would like to ask you about your activities on the night of the murder. Oh ho, ho, am I in trouble? No, nothing like that. We're just gathering the full picture. I see. Well, let me think. The guests arrived at 5 o'clock and we all sat down for dinner in this very hall at 6. And that part went magnificently. The photographer arrived at 7 o'clock. It wasn't until 7:30 that we had our picture taken. My housemaid discovered the crime scene soon after that. I see. Is there something else I can help you messieurs with? We met your housemaid, Colleen Duhaut. Oh, she's a courteous young lady, isn't she? None of our business. Yes, she was more than willing to help us with our investigation. And herself to the suit. I'm glad to hear it. Would you two want to ask something else? I think that'll be all, Baron. Thank you very much for your time. It was a pleasure. Have a delightful day, messieurs. Messieurs. Did you get all the information you needed, Falcon? I hope so. Don't worry, if everything goes wrong in the trial, we could always just wing it. Hey. Terrible. Just terrible. Let's head back to the office and get some rest. January 5th, Wednesday. Alright, we'll need to go to Studio di Robinho. Here lies the home of Robitio di Robinho, up-and-coming photographer. So this is the studio of the famous photographer. Shall we knock? It looks like there's a sign notice on the door. Wait, there's a note on the door. I just said that, Sparrowson. The magnificent and marvellous artist Monsieur Robitio di Robinho is currently out on an artistic expedition. He shall return when his muse sees fit. When his muse sees fit? What does that even mean? I think it means he's in a pretentious bird brain. But in any case, the artist seems to be out. What shall we do now? Kick the door open. We should knock anyway. Alright, I don't see the harm. Dunk, 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 indeed. No, doesn't look like he's in, Falcon. Yeah, we're defense attorneys, right? We should break in. What? Are you serious? Maybe. Monsieur Jayjay Falcon, I would have thought that a man of justice like yourself would be against such reckless displays of unlawful barbarism. You're right. I'm sorry, I don't know what came over. It's a brilliant suggestion. Stand back, I'm barging down the door. Wait, just like that. Shouldn't we discuss this first? What in bird Jesus' name was that? Bird Jesus. You said you wanted to break in. I thought we could find an open window. I didn't think you'd turn into a bird-sized cannonball. Well, now we're here. We ought to make the most of it. This place is quite something. It's very... swanky. No, he said swanky. I was going to say ostentatious. That's just swanky talk for swanky. We don't have time for this. The sound of a door being smashed in could be drawing unwanted attention. We should find anything that may help our case and get out. Ooh, we're in bird mode. So there's alcohol. Okay, start with the alcohol. I see... Oh, it's paint. I see paints, inks, and dyes. I'm not quite sure what the clear liquid in this bottle is. I could taste test it. You could, but we don't have time for a hospital visit right now, so let's not. I see a bourgeois tigress in profile. I see a finely dressed dandy fellow upon a horse. This appears to be a photograph of a ladder, symbolic of climbing towards success, perhaps. Looks more like a step ladder to me. Oh no, we're not getting into that old argument. A beautiful picture of the Paris skyline. Given the angle, this must have been taken from Notre Dame Cathedral itself. What is the response from it? A butterfly, or maybe a moth. It's difficult to tell in black and white. Okay, fair enough. This is a photograph of a castle somewhere in the countryside. You know, I once had an uncle who once fell off a castle rampart while on guard duty. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Did he die? No, he got demoted. Oh, terrible. Now, Chromo would have been loving these. And Das Dave. A lighthouse. No, wait, it's a man in a top hat. Actually, if I squint and turn my head sideways... Ooh. The black smudge, Falcon.
Love the stream, but the cheer is for stay-at-home dad.
Thanks, Nonsense. Nonsense Cycle? Appreciate that so much. Thank you so much. This is a tiny photograph of what appears to be a jail cell. That reminds me. How illegal is this? You know, breaking and entering, rifling through a person's belongings. Well, it's illegal, yes, but we're trying to solve a murder case, so it's forgivable. Oh. So you're saying that a small act of evil is justifiable if it results in a greater good? Put words in my beak. This is a picture of a fence. With a fancy photograph, it leaves the viewer defenseless. Out of the picture here, I would pick it as my favourite. Okay, I'm done. No more fence puns. That's so bad. A picture of a sailing ship on a windy day. I think we got all the photos. That's like the exit area. Ooh, chandelier. A chandelier. A chandelier. You should get one of those for the office. I don't have the money for that sort of luxury. From the chandelier here. From the chandelier here. Hey, Falcon, look! What? It's just an easel. No, look what's on the easel. The maid. Oh wow. This must be a copy of the photograph from the evening of the murder. Where's Baron Wheeling? There's no question about it. I see a housemaid, Dame Cataline, and I think that's Signor Pertua, Cataline's father. So what should we do? Do we just take it? We should take it. We've come this far, may as well borrow it. Studio photograph has been added to the evidence folder. Photograph we borrowed from Robinho's studio. It shows Colleen Cataline and Pertua. Is there anything else we need to do here? Is that everything? I think we're done snooping. Let's get out of here before we draw further attention to ourselves. Sounds good to me. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's what I said. Oh mon Dieu, what happened to my door? Some kids did it. Little weasel types. We saw them. Yeah, weasels. They were all like, let's break into this art guy's house. And we were like, no, weasels, you cannot do that because that would be illegal. And then they were like, we chased them off. That's the important thing. Oh, well, thank you, I suppose. Let's make a move. Trial day is approaching fast. Right, let's go. We could have questioned the dude, right? A new day. Or maybe I only get to question him if we tell the truth. Wonder if we go back, do we get to question him? Hey, Toasted Zergling, how you doing, buddy? Oh, we'll go to... we should go to the... We should actually go to court. Don't want to go back to his house to question him and then miss court date. Falcon and Sparrowson stand inside the marble portico of the Palais de Justice. The Palais de Justice, awaiting the opening of the Tribunal de Grande Instance. De Grande Instance. Are you nervous, Falcon? Nope. We've got this case in the bag. Look at my feathers. See? Totally unruffled. Wow. Well, at least one of us is feeling confident. Monsieur Falcon, Petite Sparrowson. Is there anything you need me to do? No. We've got a handle on things. Falcon was just telling me how confident he was feeling about the case. Palais de Justice? Maybe. That's wonderful. I just know you two will pull through. Let's move along, fellas. I'll be watching from the inside. Do your best for me, Monsieur Falcon. We will. Are we ready? Yeah, we're ready. Is that a stork? Judge Maxime. Alright, settle down, everyone. Settle down. Is everybody here? Jayjay Falcon present. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Rupert Rabbington present. The ready is prosecution, Your Honor. Damn, that's not it. Oh gosh, where are my notes? Ha, I knew it. Knew what? Rupert and I went to Paris Law School together. He was in all of my classes. Oh, was he smart? No. He always scored second worst marks in the class. I can only assume that he bumbled through the final exams on the luck of his 2 rabbits' feet. Unless he's improved considerably, you might already have this trial in the bag. That's good to know. But say, Sparrowson, if Rupert scored second lowest marks in the class, then who scored the lowest? I choose to exercise my right of non-self-incriminate. Here it is. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. Are the jury all present? All present and accounted for, Your Honor. Hey, Falcon, I thought there were only 6 members of the jury for cases like this. Why do I count 8? Oh, those 2 birds with the funny hats are assesseurs, the associate judges. Everything seems to be in order, so let us begin. The court is now in session for the trial of Dame Cataline de Meow. Prosecution, please call your first witness to the stand. Oh gosh, are we there already? Okay, I choose to call the officer in charge of the murder investigation, Inspector Valerti, to the witness stand. Inspector Valerti, please approach the stand and recite the oath. Man, another voice. As you will, Your Honor. I swear to speak without hatred and without fear, to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. Monsieur, Inspector, please state your name and occupation for the record. My name is Inspector Justin Valerti. I am servant to the law, scourge of the gutter rats that plague this city. I have enforced the law for over 20 years, and I shall continue until I bring infamous Viridian killer to justice. The path begins 18 years ago. Let's stick to the questions, Inspector. Of course, Your Honour. Oh, great, I was hoping we could have one of those bumbling cuddly officers. Instead, we're stuck with lawful goody two-shoes. I bet this guy would turn his own mother if he saw her littering. So Inspector, is it true you're the lead investigator in this case? That is correct. I was also amongst the first to arrive at the scene of the crime. Then perhaps you can walk us through what you witnessed upon your arrival. Absolutely. Just after 7:30, we were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid Baron Roguil. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Cataline de Miao. She was standing over the corpse of Monsieur Grenouille, with his blood on her paws. The music was really loud. Well, that sounds like an open and shut case, in my humble opinion. No more questions, Your Honour. But bloody paws? Nobody told me that detail. Keep it together, Falcon. You're about to give him the opportunity to cross-examine the witness. It's your opportunity to find flaws in the inspector's testimony. Of course, I know this. You may begin your cross-examination, Monsieur Falcon. Cross-examine the witness to find flaws in his testimony. Okay. Select a key phrase you find suspicious, and Falcon will press the witness for information. Ask the right questions to bring the truth to light. Avoid pressing for pointless details. The judge and jury don't like having their time wasted. Ooh, nice. Select a statement to question. We were alerted and brought to the scene by the housemaid. That seems fine. Baron Roguil. At the scene of the crime, we found Dame Cataline. She was standing over the sliced open corpse of Monsieur Grenouille with blood on her paws. Okay. Let's check this blood on her paws bit. Inspector, you say Dame Cataline had blood on her paws? Correct. Blood clung to her fur like guilt to a convict. Right, whose blood was it? Because they had no cutlery, and she had to eat the steak with her bare hands, bare paws. Whose blood was it? Ha! What a question. It was Monsieur Grenouille's, of course. How can you be so sure? I object. This line of questioning is absurd. There was only one murder victim that night, Falcon. The blood on Dame Cataline's paws could have only belonged to one person, Monsieur Grenouille. Judge, Falcon's trying to delay the trial by asking pointless questions. I'm afraid the prosecution may have a point, Monsieur Falcon. Do you have any reason to suspect the blood belonged to someone other than Monsieur Grenouille? I do. I do, Your Honour. Actually, I have more than a suspicion. I have evidence that the blood on Dame Cataline's paws had nothing to do with the murder. This is foolish time wasting. Falcon, if the blood on Dame Cataline's paws didn't come from the victim, then where did the blood come from? Dame Cataline ate a bloody rare steak at the banquet. On the evening of the murder, Dame Cataline ate a bloody rare steak. Is this true, Monsieur Ravington? Well, as a manner of speaking, I suppose steak may have been on the menu. Then, Inspector, would you acknowledge the possibility that the blood on lady's paws did not belong to the victim, but to the steak? Well, wait, don't answer that, Inspector. It is a possibility. No. We gained a little favour with the jury. So, Inspector Volerti, is it possible that you arrested an innocent bystander simply for being a messy eater? Now hold on, just 1 minute, Falcon. You're overlooking something quite crucial. And Cataline is an elegant bourgeois kitten. She was no doubt brought up with flawless etiquette and perfect table manners. At the banquet, she would have eaten the steak with a fork in her left hand and a knife in her right, like any proper civilized animal. How could she have possibly gotten blood on her paws with such good manners? Oh, that is a good question. Or at least it would be at any ordinary dinner banquet. But as it happens, something was missing from that particular banquet, something that forced Dame Cataline to eat with her paws. Dame Cataline was forced to eat her steak with her paws because the silverware of the household had been previously stolen. Stolen? I don't recall any mention of that in the police report. We weren't aware of anything missing from Rorgwheel residence when we performed the initial investigation. But as it happened, Baron Rorgwheel approached us about this very subject last night. Innocent perhaps. What a twist. We gained more favour with the jury.